Everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisa Kazem, and today I'm going to be showing you my 2022 setup in my brand new Archer and Olive journal. This journal came out a few months ago from Archer and Olive, and I picked one up just because I love the cover so much, and I've decided to use it for 2022. So first I'm just writing my name in the journal, and then we're going to get into the cover page in just a second. This year I decided to do a French Paris theme for my beginning of the year setup, and I don't know why, it just sounded so cute and relaxing and cozy but also elegant, so that's kind of why I decided to go with that as my theme. For my last bullet journal I did a very similar title page where I wrote 2021 in the center in a little label, and I drew some doodles around it that correlated to the theme. So I decided to do that again for this setup because I really just love how simple it is, and it gives me the vibes that I want, you know, like wine, a baguette, a croissant, a pastry. It's exactly what I want in my French beginning setup. I don't know if you can tell with the lighting, but for this entire setup I am using the Sakura Pigma Microns in this sepia tone. So instead of using black, I decided to go with sepia because I just wanted something a little bit softer. I'm actually not too sure if I like it, but I'm just trying to try it out and see if I can get used to it. Also, sorry, with this wine bottle here, I wanted it green instead of purple, so I just went over it with white ink and then changed the shade. So on to the next spread. This is my yearly goals and self-care page. I don't really know why I put these two next to each other. I don't really know if it makes sense, but last time when I was looking at my yearly goals page, I found it very stressful, and I feel like having a self-care page of things I can do to calm myself down next to my goals kind of helps me relax a little bit more. And these are also, I think, some of the only two spreads that don't really go with anything else, so I thought they'd go well here together. And I decided to draw a little Eiffel Tower in my yearly goals because when you think of Paris, the first thing you think of is the Eiffel Tower, so I absolutely had to draw that, and I really like how it came out. All of my drawings in this setup are very doodle-like. They're not very detailed or very focused on what the actual structures look like or what actual drawings of real objects are meant to look like. They're all kind of more doodly and loose, and I just used Tombow dual brush pens for all my shading in this. No watercolor, no gouache, because I just didn't have patience for it, especially for very small drawings like this. Obviously, if you guys decide to do a self-care page, you may want to do different things than the things I have written down. Like, for example, I love doing vintage journaling, I love going to the beach, and I like doing yoga and stuff like that. And if those kind of things aren't your things, then feel free to do whatever you want if you're planning on doing a self-care page. But I really would recommend it because sometimes when I'm having a bad day, I'll literally sit on my bed and stare at a wall. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that is what I'll do. Sometimes you're upset, you don't know what you're doing, so you just stare at a wall. But if I have a page with, I think there are 12 things here of things that I could do instead of just staring at a wall, they actually help me. They help me calm down, and they just help me get on with my day, get through any struggles I'm going through. And yeah, so I really recommend it, and it's definitely helpful having it right next to my yearly goals page because I find it stressful to look at sometimes. So here you can see I'm just going in very messily with all the Tombow dual brush pens. Some people do really gorgeous pieces of artwork with dual brush pens, and I just don't know if I really can. I'm very artistic and I like to paint and things, but I feel like with brush pens you don't have as much control. They're very like, this is the one shade, and if you go over it by accident you make a darker shade, so you kind of have to be careful when working with brush pens. But they did the perfect job for this. You don't have to get them wet or anything like that, and it gives me a generic base of all the colors that I was looking for. So on to the next spread. This is my future log, and I'm really excited for my future log in this journal because my future logs that have been in my previous 2 journals have literally just been for like birthdays or random trips. That's the only thing I've written down. And I decided to make a future log where the bottom half is for content planning for my YouTube channel, because I want to plan ahead of time and write things down, and I don't know where to write them a lot of the time, and I find that putting them in a future log would actually make a lot more sense. I'm sure that some people have already figured this out and I'm really late on the train, but you know what? It works for me. I just realized I could do this, and it actually makes my future log useful instead of just being a thing for birthdays, because I don't know why, I have a very good memory when it comes to birthdays. Like, it takes a lot for me to forget your birthday, so I don't really need to write down birthdays all the time. But writing down what videos I'm going to do each month would be very helpful if I had it all laid out on one spread like this. Also, my journal is just going to be a 6-month journal, so that's why I've only gone from January through June. If you want to do a 12-month journal, then you could just do this spread twice and then make the next one from July through December. But the reason I decided to do just 6 months is because I use a lot of pages every month. I counted, I use between 15 and 20 pages per month, and that will not fit 12 months in a journal. So that's why I do 2 separate journals each year. And yeah. Also for this spread, I went to Hobby Lobby and got 2 different colored pieces of paper for the calendars. I just really wanted them to stand out a bit more and have a background, but I didn't want them to have that brush pen stroke look, so that's why I grabbed two different colors of paper. Obviously, if you want to just use pens, you can also do that. I just wanted something a little more bold. So my next spread is my weight tracker. And I know that a lot of these spreads don't really have an order that's very cohesive. I don't think I was thinking about that so much. I was just thinking, oh yeah, I need to put this in there for my next spread. So if the order of these spreads seem a little weird, that's why. But I don't really mind, because it doesn't matter what order they're in as long as I can access the page and write down what I want to write down. It works for me. And so my previous journal was a 5-month journal, and I was able to fit all of the weeks into 2 pages. But for this journal, since it's a 6-month journal, I literally could not fit 4 more weeks into this layout with the way I did it previously. So that's why I'm adding an extra sheet of paper in the middle, and I'm going to attach it with washi tape, which you'll see in a little bit. But I also like this idea because it allows me so much more room for doodles, especially because the future log, I couldn't really draw anything, there was no room. And so I thought I'd make up for it on this page by adding an extra piece of paper in the middle. So I know that these types of lamps are not like specifically French, I don't think, but I've been to France about 7 times in my life, and I swear those kinds of lamps always make me think of France. I mean, I literally have lamps that look like that along my neighborhood outside, and I'm in California, so they're not specifically French, but they always remind me of France, so that's why I have them in this journal. Well, I have 2. This is one, and you'll see the other one later. And this little bike that I drew, I've always seen like this beach cruiser blue bike, and I think it might be more Californian than anything else. I'm really not sure. But it just reminded me of like a cute little Paris vibe. I don't know why. And if you actually Google like a blue French bike, you'll see a lot of specific blue bikes in Paris. So that's why I decided to also draw this little bike here. Also, I know that my lines are quite wonky for this bike, especially around the tires and the wheels. I don't know why they look so wonky. Maybe I'm just not the best with using a fine liner pen, but it doesn't matter to me. It's meant to be a rough sketch looking drawing anyway. So to fill in this corner over here, I wasn't sure what to do at first, but I wanted something in the air that was kind of hanging, and I kind of thought these overgrowing plants like roses and leaves would look really cute. I see a lot of that kind of stuff in more older looking towns, and Paris is quite old, so I thought it would look good and it adds some color to the page as well. Also here you can see I just added that piece of paper with washi tape. I know I could have easily cut a Dutch door, but like I said, I use a lot of my pages, so I thought to just add a bit of extra bullet journal paper. Archer and Olive sells the bullet journal notepads, and I have one of those, so I just take out pieces of paper, and I'll also take out extra pages from the back of my old journals because they're just sitting there not being used. So if you feel like you need more paper and you have pages left over in a previous journal, you can also cut those out from the back and stick them in, and I have found that that works really well for me. So my next spread is my movies list and TV shows list, and I am a movie and TV show fanatic. Me and my boyfriend watch so many things throughout the year, and I really wanted a 2-page spread where I can just write all this stuff down. And I really wanted to do a more interesting drawing for this spread. I really wanted to draw the Arc de Triomphe in this setup because it's one of the most beautiful structures in Paris, and I wasn't sure how to incorporate it because it's quite a big boxy drawing. And then I thought, if I have half a page where I can fully write down the movies that I watch, then I have room for this entire drawing. And so I decided to draw like a scene. I've been to the Arc de Triomphe, but I don't actually know if there was a cafe right there like that. I just thought this had a really cute vibe to it, and it's kind of meant to look like you're walking down the street and you're near the Arc de Triomphe, and then there's a cafe, and you can see I drew some very scribbly buildings in the background, and it's kind of meant to give you the vibe that you're in Paris, like you're in a movie or a TV show. That's what I was going for. I do think this spread would have looked a lot better if it was done in watercolor instead of brush pens, because like I said, brush pens, you can see all of the streaks like every time you go over it, but it still turned out mostly how I wanted. I ended up changing the trees a little bit later on that you'll see, but I love it. It gave me the vibe that I want. It's like you're in Paris in a movie, and this is my spread for movies and TV shows. I'm curious to know, do you guys watch a lot of movies and TV shows? Because I see a lot of other bullet journalers do like a content page of books, podcasts, movies, TV shows that they watch and listen to and read, and they put it all on like one page. And in my head I'm like, how can you fit all of that into one page? Like, I watch so many things. I don't read as much. I'm trying to get more into reading, and this year so far I'm in my 13th book because it seems to take me a while to read. I think sometimes I'm a fast reader, but realistically I'm probably a bit slow. So far it's taken me roughly a book per month. But yeah, I'm curious, do you guys watch a lot of movies and TV shows? Because I literally watched so many in my bullet journal this year. I think I've watched like over 20 different TV shows with my boyfriend. Like, we really, like, the minute a new TV show comes out, we're like, oh yes, we have to watch it, and we'll binge it. Like, it's just something we do, and I love it. And I love writing down what I've seen every year. I feel like it's just so interesting to look back and see what you've been up to. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you binge watch movies and TV shows like I do, or is it just me and my boyfriend are a little extra? Let me know. So here I was just trying to darken the trees because I didn't like how streaky they were looking, and I tried to go over those lighter patches more with the same pen, and then the branches looked way too dark at that point, like they were invisible, so I just went over them with a white gel pen. So this spread is for my reading log, and like I said, I've only read I'm in my 13th book this year. I'm hoping to finish it before the end of the year, but my goal last year was 15 books, and I think 13 is pretty close. So this year I'm doing the same goal, 15 books, because I didn't even hit my goal last year, so might as well try for the same goal this year. And I decided to do the same style I did last year. I literally drew the exact same bookcase with the books in the exact same layout, except I changed like the little items on there. So I did like a French perfume, a bird cage, and some macarons because I thought that'd be really cute. And this time I decided to add a French sofa beneath. I don't remember the name of the designer, but this drawing is based off of a specific, very expensive French sofa, and it's blue with a gold rim around it. I obviously did a much more cartoony drawing of it, but if you just look up famous blue French sofa, you'll probably see the one I'm talking about, and it was just beautiful and antique looking, so I decided to draw that. And then when I fill in my reading log, it's like, you know, I'm reading a book on this fancy French sofa drinking my tea, so I just wanted to give it a cute vibe, and that's what the sofa is. Also, so the spread next to it is called my menu, and basically in my previous journal I set up a meals page and I literally did not use it. I am trying to get better at cooking for myself, but I often find I literally forget what options there are to cook, especially when you're busy and you're tired. You like don't pay attention to what ingredients you have, and my idea was to be able to write down like different meals, but I literally just titled the top meals and left the page blank, and because I had no structure, I didn't feel motivated to fill it out at all. So this time I decided to make 2 menus for myself, one for breakfast and dessert and the other one for lunch and dinner, so that way I can make and cook things at home and just have something where I literally have it all written in one place. You don't have to make an envelope and an entire pocket for it, obviously. Like, you could just divide the page in 2 and do the first half as breakfast and dessert and the next half as lunch and dinner. But the reason I wanted to do extra pages and like have them inserted is so that I have room to continue adding. I'll show you in a second, but the way the menu is, it's like a list. So I just write down a type of meat or whatever ingredient I'm having, and then I write down the calories at the end, and that just really helps me figure out what I want to have for breakfast or lunch or dinner, and it just makes it so much simpler. I haven't fully started using this journal yet because it's still December and I'm using my old one, but I am already reaching for this menu a lot, and I'm very excited to use it this year. I can add all the different things that I learn how to cook to it, and I can take it out as well. I don't have to bring my journal with me everywhere. If I just want my menu for a day, I can bring it. And I know it seems a little silly, but I just love how cute and adorable it looks. And then it also has a little seal. So that seal, I just glued down half of it, the bottom half, so that I could fold in the front tab. And so that's how it works. It's very simple, no complicated closure or anything. I literally just glued the bottom half so that when I fold the tab over, it gets stuck under the seal. And that's how I closed my little menu. So these spreads are my symptom tracker and my health tracker, and I added these last minute, but I just thought these would work well for me. Basically, I am epileptic and I get a lot of migraines, and I've been having more migraines recently, and I want to track those throughout the entire year. So I have this chart where it goes from January through June, and then I have the days at the side, and I'm going to color code all my symptoms and symptoms that I believe are related to my migraines, and I'm going to see if they all happen on the same day. And then my other spread, the health tracker, I've basically made a little game for myself, and it says at the top, every month complete at least 20 days where I've eaten within calories, drank enough water, and exercised within the same day to earn monthly rewards. So basically my plan is, before the month begins, I'm going to write a reward in the reward section, and throughout the month I need to complete 20 days where I do all of those 3 things. I drink enough water, I eat within my calories, and I exercise. And then I'll color them on the tracker, like on the number of that day. And if I do complete all 20, then I get to have my reward at the end of the month. And another reason why I'm doing this also is because I think my migraines could be related to my diet or days when I'm just lazy and I'm not moving or I'm not drinking enough water. So the goal for this spread is to encourage me to do all three more often, because you can eat like terribly and then go exercise, but that doesn't mean you're being healthy. So that was the whole point of that spread. And I hope that makes sense. I'm hoping to see if it relates to my migraines at all or not. Anyway, so now it's time for the final flip through, and I hope you guys like this setup. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this is too overboard for an intro, especially with all the drawings? Or do you like how it looks, and would you replicate something like this in your journal? And also let me know which was your favorite or least favorite spread. I'm really interested to know. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you're still here all the way at the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one.